Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new series of Civilization 5 Brave New World where we are going to be playing as Babylon. That is right, Babylon. Um, Babylon is a very strong empire, I have to say. Very underappreciated. People usually talk more about Korea as like, oh, they're so awesome for tech and all that stuff, but you know what? I can probably make a case that Babylon is as strong as Korea, if not maybe even stronger. And we'll go more into details when we start the game up as to why I think that is. So we get ingenuity as our bonus, which is receive a great scientist when you discover writing. Now that is, I mean, at first glance you're like, oh, that's not that great, but trust me, it is freaking sweet to get a great scientist that early on in the game. And we also earn great scientists 50% faster. So obviously if you're going to take Babylon, you're probably going to be leaning towards a tech victory. So that's what we're going to aim for. We're going to try for a tech victory. Now I am playing on Immortal, which is the first time I've attempted an Immortal LP game. And honestly, I have not even completed an Immortal game yet, so we'll see how that works out. But Empire was getting just a little bit too easy, so it is time to move on to Immortal, and when I start the game up, I'll explain exactly what the differences are between Empire and Immortal, and I have to say the differences are quite significant, and the game changes drastically. It wasn't that drastic, changing from King to Empire, but from Empire difficulty to Immortal, there is a big difference, and the game pretty much, I mean, the dynamic of the game just changes completely, so everything else is standard game pace, standard map size, and we are playing on the Communitas map, which is continents pretty much. But what it is, it's a mod that generates, I guess, realistic continents with realistic tile placements, and is actually pretty cool, I have to say. I have it set up so that it's an actual map type and not a mod, so you can do that as well. It makes loading up the game a lot faster and all that stuff. And yeah, so if you like playing on continent map styles, I strongly suggest that you try the Communitas map. So there we go. Let's get into the game. So what do we have as a starting location? Well, at first glance I see all that salt, which is honestly my favorite luxury resource. I think I've mentioned that in numerous of my LP games, and I guess I'm just really lucky. I get salt all the time, so... But besides the salt, though, I mean, the location itself is not awesome, though. We don't have a mountain. We're not on a hill. I guess I can move here on this desert tile, actually. I think I might actually do that. You know what? I'm going to move here just to get the or not the insta hammer, but an extra hammer in our city, which will definitely help us early game. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to move here, and we have more desert tiles. Actually, these are floodplains. Floodplains are pretty good. There's some more desert tiles here. Maybe beelining to the Petra might be an interesting idea. Although on Immortal difficulty, it's pretty hard to get those early wonders. But we'll see. We'll see how the game progresses. But the Petra might be a good idea. What else? Well, actually, before we start, let me just go here. I want to show what Babylon get as far as unique units and buildings. So what do we get as a unique building is the Walls of Babylon. What is the Wall of Babylon? Well, it's a better wall for starters. Instead of, I think a regular wall will give you 5 defense and 50 hit points. This will give us 6 and 100 hit points, as well as the Walls of Babylon are unique building. No, the Walls of Babylon increase the damage output of all of the city's range attacks and increases the city's defense. So it acts as a wall, but our city attack is also stronger with these walls. So it is a very, very cool, unique building that is very useful for the higher difficulties, I have to say. Very, very useful. So that's one of our unique buildings. Well, the unique building. And then we have our unique unit, which is just a standard bowman, but that is much stronger than a regular archer. So basically, it replaces the regular archer here. So what do we get? We get 7 combat strength, 9 range combat, and a regular archer gets 5 defense and 5 strength and 7 range. So right there, we are much stronger than a regular archer. But what's cool about our unique bowman is that they're only slightly less strong than a composite bowman. And the composite bowman basically has 7 strength, so the same as ours, and a little bit more range combat, so an extra 2. And I think it gets more hit points too, though I'm not sure. But basically what that means is that we don't have to worry about getting to composite bowmans early on if we're next to, say, a warmongering empire. We should be able to manage with just our standard bowmen because they're so strong. So again, another very cool feature of the for Babylon. So anyways, let's get this game started here. What am I gonna do here? Let me walk all the way there. There we go. Badaboosh. We get an ancient rune right away. So we've moved on to the hill, which I hope ends up being the right move. I mean, losing 1 or 2 turns early on in the game, moving your settler, is not the end of the world if it means getting a better starting location. Now, we didn't improve all that much by moving 1, but this extra hammer that we're going to get in our city is going to be very, very strong. So there we go. So let's queue up the standard scout. We want to start scouting immediately. And obviously we're going to go for pottery. At least that's what I do every single time, is pottery is always the first thing I go for. So what do we get in the first ancient rune? We get culture. Alright, well that's always a good one. So I guess we should keep moving. Let me move here. Okay, so there's a lot of hills. I'm just going to beeline all the way to the coast. I'd like to see where the continent starts and ends, basically, on both sides, which is always important. And also, hopefully, we'll meet some other civilizations. I hope we're not next to, say, the Huns or the Mongolians, because that's it gets quite tricky on Immortal, fighting those warmongers. Okay, so there's another ancient rune over here. That's good. Let's go ahead and next turn. Oh, lovely. So we got Denmark. Denmark is... You know what? I don't play against them that often. I think they're warmongerish-ish, I think. I could be wrong on that. Oh, nice. We got a free pop. Well, that's just freaking sweet. So we're working... Oh, actually, I forgot to set my citizens here, but that is just sweet. A free pop just that early on is going to be so awesome. Because of the salt, really, is we're getting some pretty good production, and we're growing all in one. So this is going to make for a very good start. That free pop is always probably the best one, I have to say. Getting a free pop is probably the best thing you could possibly get from an ancient rune, in my opinion. I mean, I guess there could be arguments for the culture or maybe the faith even, but I don't know. Or text, for that matter. But I think the population is much stronger. Where do I go? Well, let's just keep going now. We found the coast, so that's interesting. It's pretty far on that side from our capital, but that's fine. We'll see what else we have around us. Let's move this way. Alright, natural wonder found. Lake Victoria. This is awesome. And I see that there's some truffle here as well, or some truffles. Actually, we have wine, so we got salt and wine. I forgot to mention that we also had the wine. I don't care for wine, but we are going to need as many luxury resources as possible. Since there's truffle here, there's a lot of sheep as well. And Lake Victoria here, we can settle next to the mountain. I think settling right here, our second city, could be pretty strong, actually. Pretty strong indeed. I mean, I would like to be coastal, but Lake Victoria is awesome, and these mountains will make, for teching, we'll be able to build the observatory in that city, so that's something to consider. So, choose production. Well, let's start working on the worker. I'll probably just end up building the worker completely. I know some people do the worker for a little bit, and then once they get pottery, they switch to the shrine to be able to get the a pantheon as soon as possible, but I much prefer getting the worker out as soon as possible, just because, you know, improving your tiles right away is always awesome. So there's another ancient rune here. That's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet indeed. Next turn. So what are the bonuses on Immortal? I'm going to go the tradition route, by the way. Liberty is probably stronger than tradition overall, I think. But on Immortal and at 80 difficulty, tradition is just easier to use, pretty much, because of the free buildings we get. And I think for Babylon, growing tall instead of wide makes more sense, especially for a tech victory. So I'm going to go tradition, just because it's it's just easier. It's just easier to use, pretty much. It's not saying that it's not. I'm not trying to say Liberty's bad, and in fact, I think Liberty's actually overall better. It's just it requires a lot more skill to properly use Liberty, and I just don't have that skill. I'm not that great of a player, so okay. There we go. So we're gonna grab this the next turn. Hopefully we get something good. Maybe Faith would be nice. I guess a free tech could be good. Although I've had it happen a lot where I'll get Pottery as my first free tech, and I'm like almost done teching Pottery. So that kind of irritates me when that happens. But you know what? Let's see what we get. So we get Animal Husbandry. That's actually not too bad. That's usually the second one I go for, so that's pretty good. So what we're going to do after Pottery is go straight to mining, because we'll need mining as soon as possible. In fact, our worker's going to pop out and not have anything to do right away. So it might be wise to maybe switch to Shrine for a couple of turns. Not to switch to Shrine. Yeah, switch the production to Shrine just for a few turns until we actually get mining, and then we'll pop out the worker to time it properly. I think is what I will do actually. So let's keep scouting. I'm gonna head towards the west just to see what lies over there. So there's more salt here. This is actually a pretty good spot for a city now that I think of it. Probably our second city will go there, or our third city will go there. I still think this is a better overall spot because we get the truffle, and there is more wine, and there's a lot of sheep. There's probably good production, and of course Lake Victoria, which will give us a lot of food. So yeah, I think that's what I will do. But the third city definitely here. There's some fish, some wheat, more salt, which is always a nice tile. Plus we want to connect as many luxury resources as possible so we could trade, because it's going to be hard to get a lot of city-states on our side early on Immortal. It's much more difficult. Okay, let's keep walking down there, I guess. We'll try to find some city-states, hopefully. So next turn. That free pop definitely helped a lot, I have to say. Oh, there we go. Our first city-state. Good. So we get 30 gold. I'll keep walking this guy west. I figure the continent probably ends here anyways. I mean, there might be an ancient ruin here somewhere, but you know what? I'd rather just explore west because I want to know what's below us. I like to try to condense our cities to be close together so it's a bit easier to defend if we are to be attacked. At least that's how I feel. If you're spread out too much early on, it makes it a little bit harder to defend your cities if you are going to be attacked. And I've noticed on an Immortal, the AI definitely likes to start war. Even some known to be passive AI personalities, they tend to, if they see an opening, they will declare war. So I'm not going to take a chance. Okay, so we got Pottery. I don't want to engage this barbarian just yet. So we got Pottery. We're gonna definitely go for mining next. It's 7 turns, so 5 turns. So what I'm gonna do is, oh, you know what? I guess I could finish the worker. He's gonna worker 1 here. Fine. Let's min-max. So let's change production. Actually, we're gonna grow in 3 turns, though. You know what? No, let me keep doing the worker, because once we grow in 3 turns, the mining with the extra beaker, the timing might actually be perfect on this. So let's just keep working on the worker right now. Okay, so there's a lot of foresty areas over here. Not my favorite type of terrain. So we might not be expanding towards the west, but it's still important to see what's over here. Yeah, move on this mountain. So there's more salt here. There's some deer. That's interesting. I'm looking for more luxury resources, pretty much. It's very important. I mean, on Empire, you can probably get away with it, but actually, no, you still want to, even on Empire, you still want to find as many luxury resources as possible. Okay, what is this? We found Kilimanjaro. Nice. So we get altitude training if we walk next to it. So we will want to walk next to it. I don't want to engage these guys, but let's get our altitude training, which will allow us to move over hills and not lose a movement. So there you go. Pantheon's been founded. That's always bad. That means maybe Either someone got faith from an ancient rune, or maybe the Celts are in the game, perhaps, or someone that gets a pretty good bonus to that stuff. There's a city-state here that I should probably engage first, just to make sure that we are the first ones to get them. Let's actually let me walk here. So we grew again. That's excellent. Yeah, let's keep you on food. I want to keep growing. I'm going to grow to 4. And because we got that free pop, what I might do is just do 2 settlers in a row. And we'll do a quick expand that way. Which makes me wonder why I don't go for the Liberty route when I do the quick expanding. But, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it requires more skill. It's probably stronger overall, but it definitely requires more skill. Anyways, I want the tradition, because once we got in tradition complete, we can buy great engineers with faith. So what I'm going to do is stockpile the faith and build engineers for the wonders that we absolutely need, and keep a lot of faith as well for engineers in the late game when we're going to want to build spaceship parts, because yeah, I think a tech victory should be pretty fun actually on Immortal. So there you go. So let's get our free monuments. There we go. We got another rune here. That's awesome. Let's hope for something good again. So we got shot here. I don't like that. If I move up here, you know what? Let me come back to the city-state. I don't want to lose the scout. Losing the scout would be bad. Oh, you can move again. Oh, cool. We got culture again. Okay, that's interesting. So we got some culture. We're gonna get the worker out now, which is great. Now we're gonna start working on the shrine immediately. So it's 6 turns, and 3 turns away from more salt here, so that's perfect. So we don't have mining just yet, so there you go. I should have probably started working on the shrine immediately. What I can do, though, is maybe... Ugh. Okay, fine. Well, I guess the worker's not going to have anything to do for 2 turns. I should have timed that out a bit more efficiently. Because we're also losing a gold per turn now because he's out, so... Let's go all the way down here. So there's more salt. This is actually not a bad spot. It's nice and open. There is a Mount Kilimanjaro here that we can maybe get connected to our city, which gives us 3 food and 2 culture, which is a pretty good tile, actually. That makes for a pretty interesting tile. There's some wheat here. This is the coast here, too, as well. That'll be much later on in the game, though. That won't be... a city we'll want to go to immediately. So we got 70 gold here. That's good. There's some dye here, so that's interesting. And more salt. And deer. I'm gonna bring back the warrior up here to see what's in there, but a 4th city, probably 1, 2, 3. No, if I put him here, I can get the deer, the salt, this deer, and the dye if I settle here, and I'll be coastal. The rest of the stuff is pretty junk, though, but I do want the dye. Is that dye? Yeah, it's dyes. Okay, good. So anyways, next turn. What else do we get? Okay, so let's just start walking back. I guess I can move down here just to see. Maybe there's an ancient rune. I mean, who knows? Yeah, come all the way down. I mean, I'm considering actually healing this guy up. Okay, good. So now we can do the... Oh, no, we can't do it yet. Just one more turn of waiting. I really wish I hadn't... oh, crap. We got Egypt in the game. Oh, lovely. Where did you come from there, Egypt? Okay, so we got mining now. Good. So now we can start connecting the salt, which is going to give us +1 food, +1 production. This is why I love salt. Not just because I love salt, but, you know, 2 extra, you know, an extra food, extra hammer on a tile that's already got 2 food and 1 hammer, 1 gold. I mean, that just makes for a really awesome tile, pretty much. Do I want to keep this guy here? Yeah, let's keep growing. We're not growing too fast. I want to get the 4 as soon as possible. I'll probably build a bowman after this, actually. You know what? Let's do archery, because I will want to get some bowmen out there. I don't want to get attacked early on. Not that the AI would attack us, but honestly, those are unique units. The bowmen, the very strong early bowman makes it a lot easier to attack barbarians. So there you have it. We are going to refuse the embassy. I'm very not angry, but a little bit worried that Egypt's in the game right now. I was talking about wanting to go for the Petra I think Egypt starts next to desert based on the bias thing, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll see what we can do. We shall see. Do I keep? Nah, let's just come back up here and see what's here. Plus, we'll have a warrior here to defend. Actually, there's more stuff to scout. I wouldn't mind sending the warrior up here to see what's over there. We've only found one. Oh no, we found two civs now. That's true. We found Denmark. Let's move here. So there's some horses here. So settling here makes a lot of sense. So we're gonna get some horses. And we're gonna get some dye. So it's pretty good. Okie dokie. Next turn, so there's some sheep here, some more horses. So this spot's gonna be awesome. I mean, there's some horses, truffles, a lot of sheep, Lake Victoria, some wine. This is a great second spot. So we're gonna want to do that ASAP as soon as we get the pop 4. Okay, so now what do I do? Do I want to grow quicker? I do want to grow quicker. And again, there's something to be said about going with monarchy first. Landed elite or monarchy. See, depending on my game, a lot of times it's a no-brainer which one to go for. Like if I'm in the process of expanding, I won't bother with this one. I'll go straight to monarchy. But since we're still trying to grow right now, I think I gotta go for landed elite first. So let's go for landed elite first. Shrine's been built. I guess we could do a granary, but you know what? Oh, we can't even start the bowman yet. Damn. Damn. Do I even care about growing right now? Hang on. Maybe we can stop at 3. We're getting a lot of hammers. If we grow one more, we'll get even more hammers. Now I have to grow one more. Interesting. What to start building? I guess I might as well do the granary then. I guess I might as well start doing the granary. I mean, a scout might be interesting. Another scouts? You know what, let's just start working on the granary. Oh, we are first to find Wellington. Awesome. Although there is a warrior in there, so I'm going to do some healing here. Yeah, you can move here. Who knows, maybe there's an ancient rune here. That'd be awesome. So as soon as we hit the 4, there we go. You know what, let me change production. Let's do the bowman. I'd much rather get a bowman out instead of the granary right now. Does it time perfectly? No, it doesn't. We're going to grow a little bit before we get the bowman, but I'm going to finish the bowman just for extra defense. Technology now. Well, you know what? It's time to go for writing because we want to get our free great scientist for discovering writing. Plus, we can do some embassies with the civs we have found because we don't know where they are yet, and I would like to know where they are, especially Egypt. I'd like to know where he is. He knows where we are, but we don't know where he is right now, so at least I think he knows where we are. He might not know, but he's not normally aggressive, so we shouldn't have a problem with that. Oh, so there's some more salt here. That's interesting. Okay, let's go here and get this salt connected as well. So right now we are growing and building much quicker already. The beauty of salt, it makes the early game a lot easier. Plus we moved on the hill, which helps a lot too, which is was probably the right move actually. Although Petra is not going to work for these tiles here. It only works for actual desert tiles, not floodplains. So we're going to get one here. There's a lot of desert here, and this city's going to get these. This is a desert tile too. Yeah, no, Petra's going to make a lot of sense. Yeah, getting the Petra is going to be really strong. Maybe not early on, but in the mid game, it's going to start making a lot of sense once our borders increase a lot and our population's much higher. So we'll have to keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and grow. World's busiest people, really. Wow. Usually on Immortal, I am never leading in anything. Like, ever. And did I mention this was like my first attempt at Immortal? I mean, I've done a few test runs, just, you know, the first 150 turns, just to see how I want to do things. I was testing out Babylon. But I've never actually completed a game yet on Immortal, so it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Okay, so we've grown again. Right now, I'd rather just get the production right away. So let's lock you here. So 2 turns away. And if I lock you here, we're still 2 turns away from the bowman. But these hammers will carry over on the next build, so which will be the settlers. We're gonna actually go 2 settlers right away. We have 8 happiness. I have to, after writing, we're gonna have to get calendar. I gotta get this hooked up as soon as possible. We're gonna want another worker. Now, on Immortal and up, it's always wise to steal a worker. It's actually easier to steal a worker from an enemy rival on Deity than it is on Immortal, because on Immortal, the AI starts with 2 warriors, 1 settler, and 1 scout. So what they do is that they don't scout with their warriors. They just keep them in their capital and with the worker. Now, on Deity, what happens is that the AI starts with a settler and, you know, the scout, 2 warriors, but they start with 2 settlers. So what they do is they take 1 warrior with 1 of the settlers and they start looking for a good second spot. So stealing a worker from the AI is a little bit easier because there's only going to be 1 warrior guarding it. But on Immortal, it's practically impossible to steal a worker. So we're going to have to do it with the city-state, which is always the easiest way to do it. It's a bit cheesy, it's a bit lame, but honestly, for me anyways, it has to be done just because I'm not good enough on Immortal. So what we're going to do is actually send a unit down here. What we're going to do is expand with the warrior. We'll walk the settler with the warrior down here, and then this warrior is going to go down here and grab a worker, is what I'm going to do. Hopefully no one's going to pledge to protect this guy. So actually what I'm going to do is pledge to protect you now, and I will remove it right before declaring war. I think if I pledge to protect now, no one else will. Because if you declare war on a city-state that's protected by another empire, that empire is not going to like you, and it might trigger war. So we want to avoid war for as long as possible. For at least for the first 100 turns, I'd like to be war-free. So there you have it. So let's go ahead and next turn. This episode is coming to an end here. Let's see if I can't get a decent turn. And what I'm going to do with this guy here is actually start scouting a bit up here. We have a bowman that's coming out now. And there we go. That's going to be our defensive unit for this territory right now. Now we're going to switch the queue and add the queue. Settler. Queue that up here. Perfect. So 7 turns. Can I make this better? I don't think I can. What we're going to do, though, is bring this guy down to connect the other salt to get an extra hammer. And then maybe even the horses here, because we want to do 2 settlers in a row. That's going to be my strategy for this game, is pop 4 2 settlers for the quick expansion. Just because I like the area we have. I really want to settle here, and I really want to settle here so that we have a coastal city as soon as possible, so that we can get a trireme out as soon as possible. And here. And after that, our 4th one, we can wait a bit. In fact, I might only build the 4th settler with maybe this city here, because this one should have pretty good production. I'm not going to do it from within the capital, because we are going to want to start building some military units as well at probably, you know, near the 75 turn mark, I guess. We're going to want to work on our military, because if we have a weak military, the odds of the AI attacking us is greatly increased. So that's the plan right now. Hopefully it's the right plan. And you know what? It's time for a cut in this episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you all next time.